The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Well, good Wednesday evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Dirt Racing Network and our live coverage of the AcesUp Big Track 410 Sprint Car Series. USA Speedway, Lakeland, Florida, the scene of the crime this evening. About 23 drivers have checked in for racing action tonight. Your points leader, Joey Lindgren, already the fastest in the practice session. Joey holding a pretty good lead. He had about 18 points on second place. He's sitting at 223 markers, 205 for Tanner Pettit. No wins on the season. Lindgren with one. Noah Carpenter, 1 point further back than that. 204 markers for him in third place. Then Eric Whitner and Cameron Pritchard, your top five. Only Lindgren in that top five with a win in the season. Get that all fixed back up. Couple of minutes of practice. They are keeping the practice session kind of short. Going to try to keep the track up under the cars for the entire evening. We'll see about 3 heat races. We'll see a short B main. We'll whittle the field down to 20 drivers. And they will be put out there for a 30-lap feature this evening. Round number 4 of 7. Okay, a lot of weird stuff going on in computer land today. So, let's get to the racing. Big, long, very fast speedway here this evening. You'll see these guys right down on the inside or way, way, way out to the outside. That groove nowhere near where it will be by feature time right now. That will be all the way up there to the fence. And there might be a very thin line down there on the bottom for some of these guys to go try to ride through. Watch a little bit of the action out here on track. This is Whitner's car. Eric Whitner. You can see how long the straightaways are. Not very wide down the straightaways, but the corners do tend to widen out just a little bit. But the straightaways narrow up pretty fast. Bump getting into turn 1 if they get too close to the inside right there at the end of that inside wall. There is a big bump. Will really upset a car. Cameron Pritchard now 5th in the points. He will have a penalty to start the evening this evening, so he will start his heat race out back for a last lap incident in the feature last week. Be sure to say hi in the chat, guys. Let us know where you're watching from. Got a favorite driver, make sure you shout him out. Subscribe on YouTube and Twitch, and hit the like, share, and follow buttons over on Facebook. Well, looks like practice session coming to an end. We will get ready for our qualifying. And we are just going to pick drivers to watch as they roll out. Rob Yost. That 83 machine rolling it out there. We'll go around, we'll grab different drivers as they come out here. See what we can do about following him around right now. Tanner Miller, 17:48. Yost was a little sore. Grandy now, Joseph Grandy jumping to the top. Let's go find Whitner's car. Whitmer out here making his qualifying laps. I see Kenny Hoffman, but he hasn't made it onto the track yet. Bowen Smith is out there, and he jumps to third quickest right now. 17.45. There goes Wilson, Brett Wilson. The 53 machine, 1741. So he ties things up. Whitner up to third quick. Kenny Hoffman onto the track now, the one car. Just waiting to see if Pritchard or Tim Smith roll out here. I was going to go watch them for you. Kenny Hoffman just now getting on the clock here. Tommy Scott Jr. goes to the top. There's Tanner Pett. 1738, about 6/100ths behind Tommy Scott. Lap 1 in the books for Kenny Hoffman. Kenny Hoffman times in fourth quick, 1740 for Hoffman. McGeethy is on track. Here's Joey Lindgren now. Finally getting the 16 car out there in his first lap, 1729, quickest. Cameron Pritchard also on track. I think he's on his first time lap. We'll watch out at turn 4. Bring him across the line, Cameron Pritchard. No time for Pritchard. He must have nicked the wall, or this is his first lap out. I just saw his name flash. I want to go between he and Tim Smith here, so we'll watch where Pritchard hits the line, and then we will jump back and we will watch the 86 of Timmy Smith. Pritchard only 17th quick on his first lap. Noah Carpenter up to the third quickest, 17:36 for him. Pritchard now, fifth quick, 17:36 for he as well. So three guys right there, 17:36-37. As the session ends before Tim Smith can move up from that 13th spot. So, interesting turn of events there, as I would think Tim Smith would have gone a little faster. We'll get ready to run down here and look at our starting lineup for the first heat race. It'll be Joey Lindgren, the 16 car on the pole with Ross Kaiser on his outside. Kaiser in the 8. Tanner Pettit, the 24 machine. Row 2 inside. He'll have Tanner Miller. So Tanner and Tanner in row number 2. Miller in the 9. Timothy Smith, the 86 machine. Didn't get to see him finish his qualifying. He'll roll off 5th in heat 1. He'll have Ryan Avila next to him. Avila's the 49. That's the blue and white car you see kind of center of the screen right there. Michael Cooper. We'll start inside of row number 4. That's the 12 machine. And then it'll be our Rob Yost in the 83. We watched Yost first roll out of the pits. Everybody here in the car is pretty good. I know they're just pacing right now. They haven't gotten to the loud pedals yet, so just trying to make sure that our sounds, our levels are very good. All right, we should get the pace truck to get out of the way the next time around out of turn number 4. All right, down the back stretch. Get these guys ready to go. Pace truck will cut the hard left turn and get on to pit road. Driver's already on the throttle. And Lindgren quickly in front, but he is going to be challenged immediately by Kaiser. And contact between Kaiser and Lindgren. We are not seeing a caution. Drivers are going to jump off the track there. Let's go back and see if we can see what happened here real quick. Well, these guys are getting around. Out of 2. And it looks like Both of them tried to move into the other's real estate space there. So that's not going to really work out too good. As we're down the back stretch, about 5.5 laps remaining. Tanner Pettit and Tanner Miller, 1-2. Here comes Smith. Smith trying to work forward. He started fifth. He's up to third. Already in a transfer spot. He's being hounded. Avia going after him. Avia with the slider is able to hang on to the outside line here. Now Smith's going to come back. He's going to do the same exact thing. And Avia easily going to be able to cut under that. I don't know what kind of run that's going to give him down into 1 and 2. He's not going to clear. So he is going to have to try to go short slider. And they are running down the backside of Tanner Miller's number 9 machine. Racing each other and still catching up to second place. 3 to go for Pettit, then Miller, Smith, Avia, Cooper, Yost, Ingrid and Kaiser off in the pits. It's a great battle we're watching here for third and fourth. And now Smith has got it by a full car. Look like Smith trying to hang on. Top 4 automatically make it anyway. But Tanner Pettit, half a second out in front, white flag in the air. Oh, that time Smith found some wall on the outside with the right rear. He's going to give up that third spot. And I don't know if that car might be broken a little bit because he's awfully slow now. Pettit wins it. Miller was second. Avia, now Smith, then Cooper, Yost, Lindgren and Kaiser. Heat 1 in the books. We'll see the bottom 4 of these guys here in just a few minutes. But our second heat, gridding out on the front stretch, and they're going to line up like this. It's going to be the 04 of Tommy Scott Jr. on pole with the 21 of Cameron Pritchard to his outside. The 1 of Kenny Hoffman sitting inside of row number 2, and you'll have Eric Whitner. And the 17 on his outside, Joseph Grandy. 518 machine will be inside row number 3. Next to Ryan Paget. Paget to 98. And then all by himself in the back row, that's old Scott Thomason in that 6 machine. And as mentioned before, you're going to see Cameron Pritchard drop out of line. He is going to go all the way to the back. He will start shotgun in the heat race. It'll still be Scott and Whitner up front. Hoffman and Paget make up the second row. Then Grandy and should be Thomason. I don't know if Scott's going to move to the outside of that final row or not. Shouldn't affect him on the start. If he does, he shouldn't get a black flag. And if he does, I'm sure that race control can clean that up for him. Yeah, Greg, I agree. Pace laps here are very long. All right, we should get the 1 to go. Should already be on 1 to go, excuse me, and we should get the pace truck out of the way. Drivers starting early tonight, getting way back at the red line back there. But Tommy Scott, no time wasted, jumps right to the lead. Whitner into second. He's being hounded already by the 1 of Hoffman. And those 3 cars, second, third, and fourth, Whitner, Hoffman, and Paget, were literally nose to tail right there. They are once again. They're going to stay like that down the backstretch. Now Hoffman Went in, went for the slider. I don't think it's going to stick. He finds that big hump coming out of 4. And that's going to allow Whitner to go right back past him. Kenny Hoffman not wanting to give up. Big gap now, 4th on back, as I think Ryan Paget had a problem back in 1 and 2 back there. Battle for the lead. Whitner's going to go for it down here in 1 and 2. Big, long, low slider. Not quite enough momentum to get him clear going down into 3 and 4, and Tommy Scott's going to come right back at him. 4 down, 4 to go. Heat 2. They're drag racing down the front stretch for the lead. Now Whitner clears, and he's got car and a half. He's going to stay right along the fence on the outside. You see the car bounce. Big hump right there coming out of 4 on the very outside. And I think Whitner had to let the car settle, and he slowed just a little bit, and that allowed Tommy Scott to go back to the lead. So we'll go on board with Eric Whitner. Off the roll bar cam here. He's going right back at Tommy Scott. Laps clicking off quickly here. We're already down to 1 to go in the second heat, and the 2 at the front. Focal point for the race, because this battle's been heated for about the last 5 laps. And it looks like Tommy Scott is going to be able to hang on. He's going to win heat 2. Whitner second. Hoffman and Paget 3rd and 4th. Then Pritchard made his way back to 5th. Grandy 6th, and Thomason in 7th. So good racing up front. Really good racing all around right there as we get ready to look at the lineup for Heat 3. 42 of Noah Carpenter will start on the pole. And the 17 car of Lockley Phillips will start on his outside. Brett Wilson, the 53, inside row number 2 next to the 12 of Bowen Smith. 91 of Matt Grimm. And the 24 car of Mason Coffey will make up a row number 3 on the inside and the out. And the 73 of Nick McGeethy, shotgun on our final heat race this evening. Smarter than the average bear. Ha ha. That's not cool. All right, one more pace lap around. This time down the backstretch, pace truck will get out of the way. We'll get ready to start the final heat race of the evening. There goes the pace truck and Noah Carpenter. Off the pole, getting a very good start. They're going to be 3 wide coming out of 2. Almost were. Brett Wilson tried to make it 3 wide. Bowen Smith ends up getting back around him and grabbing 3rd. Smith's going to fall into, or Wilson, excuse me, is going to fall into that 4th spot. And Smith right up close, almost some wheel-to-wheel contact there between he and Phillips. For 4th, Brett Wilson side by side with Matt Grimm. Grimm on the inside. Car got a little free getting across the slick line right there in the middle of the corner. Had to give up some space. He's going to go right back at him. Coffee now trying to work crossover line on Grimm, and he's got the spot for the time being. Oh, he and Wilson going to make contact. That is going to spin Coffee out. That will do it for Mason Coffey. Somebody just left Matt Grimm. No, somebody was up on the wall back there in 3. I saw the car come completely off the ground right there. We'll go back to the front as Lockley Phillips has grabbed the lead here coming out of turn number 2. Phillips. 17 machine. Likes the outside, it looks like. He's going to come off a 4. Big bump right there on the fence. That's actually turn 2, excuse me. It'll be around to 2 to go as Noah Carpenter went for the slider in 3 and 4. Phillips back around him, bumps the fence just a little bit, didn't slow him down a tick. She goes right back to lead, covers the slider line. White flag waving for the 17 of Lockley Phillips. Carpenter trying to keep it close. I don't know if we're going to see the slider. I think Phillips is going to cover the line. If he can hang on out of 4, he'll win Heat 3. Noah Carpenter, Bowen Smith, and Brett Wilson will take the top 4 spots. Then McGeehee, Grimm, and Coffey rounding things out behind that. So I think we'll go to our B main here. We will keep 8. So 2 drivers will be retired when this race has ended. We'll line them up with Cooper and Pritchard on the front row, McGeehee and Yost in row 2, Grandy and Grimm row 3, Lindgren and Thomas in row 4, Coffey and Kaiser making up our 5th and final row. Everybody's gridding them out, ready to roll them off. Get them down here a lap or so. Going to check something real quick, folks. I need to take a look at something. So while they're pacing, I am going to take a quick peek and see if I can't fix the problem. Minor setback. Okay. I think that should do it. Alrighty. Let's get you guys back where you can see them because they are getting ready to go green here. When we get down to turns 3 and 4, they did give them the 2 full pace laps, and that helped me fix a camera issue that I'm having. So we should be good to go now. Much better. Everything seems to be working like it's supposed to. Some of the cameras weren't showing up. They'd go back to default, so had to reload the package. But the pace truck out of the way. B-Main under the green flag. Michael Cooper in that 12 machine. Quickly to the front. McGeethy got around Pritchard. He grabbed second. Pritchard back to third, and he's got company. Yost is right there. McGeethy, Pritchard, Yost kind of bundled up. Matt Grimm looking for room to race. Going to fall in line back there in the 5th spot. He's going to work on Yost. Gives him a big tap in the back. Somebody was into the fence. Not sure who that was. It might have been Grandy that got into the fence a little bit back there. I saw that car bike up on 2 wheels real quick. Spreading them out, bringing them out of 2. Pritchard up to second now, honing in. Good folks trying to get the lead. He'd like to be a little closer to start the feature up front. It's going to put him about a row number 7 anyway. A chance to do something from there, maybe pick up a hard charger too. McGeethy hanging on to third. Lindgren, after his troubles in his heat race, he's up to the 4th spot. And then Grimm, Coffey, Kaiser, Yost, Thomas, and Joseph Grandy's already called it a day. New leader, that time by the 21, Cameron Pritchard. Grab is opening it up to about 3/10 already. McGeethy is now all over the back end of that 12 car. We're already going to be down to 4 to go this time by. That time McGeethy worked car low out of turn number 4, and he grabbed the spot away from Cooper. Cooper already under 4. He was. Lindgren must have bumped the wall again down there. I took the camera off of him for a second. Lindgren was right there behind him. Pritchard still out front, catching up to the back of the 6 of Thomason. Thomason looks like that car is damaged and maybe not handling very good. He's going to keep it low and try to stay out of these guys' way. Two to go signal. Almost a full second now for Pritchard out in front of McGeethy. Cooper hanging tough right there. Right now, Scott Thomason and Joseph Grandy would be the 2 cars not transferring into the night's A main. Things stay the way they are. With a full lap to go, anything is possible. There's your slider from Cooper. McGeethy's going to cross back over. That's going to let Lindgren get back in the mix. Pritchard easily going to transfer into tonight's A main. We'll see who's going to come second, third, and fourth here. McGeethy. Oh, at the line, Cooper, Lindgren, Kaiser, Grimm, Coffey, and Yost will be your transfer cars. Thomason and Grandy done for this evening's action. So the 20-car field is set. I think they're going to hang on till about a minute or so left in this session to let the guys out to have any kind of track time before the feature. So they'll sit the cars on pit road. They'll let them stay there. They just will not let them get out and burn down the track any. Quick reminder about tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern. Elite Performance Industries 410 non-wing sprint cars. Be back in action. Show will go live at the top of that hour, so 8 o'clock Eastern, make sure you're here. And then Sunday evening at 8 o'clock Eastern, final round of the mini season 4. The MAR's pavement late models. I've already been approached by 2 different groups. The Mars guys, they were going to go every other Sunday starting on June 4th. Run about 10 races. And on Tuesday nights on the off week from the Mars series, Melvin Turnmeyer. I was trying to think of who it was. Got a hold of me, and they are going to run a short track pavement series. So will be Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Mondays will be back at the end of June, as far as we know. A couple of special events announced. DSRL hosting their Raging Cajun Classic. That's an ASCS style show, 360 sprint cars. That'll be at Lucas Oil Speedway. That is on June the 20th. And they will turn around the very next night on June 21st and hold their 5th annual Jason Johnson Memorial. That'll be held at the Knoxville Speedway. That will be 410 winged sprint cars. Have a 41-lap feature for that show. And scuttlebutt around the campfire is that DSR will be back at around the end of June on Monday night. So they're waiting to see what's going to happen with iRacing's new build in dirt. Hopefully they fix all the goofy issues. So we'll see if they can make it back on track. We'll have about 5 or 6 nights a week of racing here at the network. DRN will become part of Digital Sim Sports Network. We'll probably keep the banners and use them when we're running dirt track stuff, but it'll all be under a new banner so that we can incorporate other sim sports. Basketball, football, soccer, baseball. We're working on a few projects, but it'll be a slow grind. It'll mostly be racing, but with pavement and dirt, we can't call ourselves strictly the Dirt Racing Network anymore. A lot going on there. Drivers look like they're starting to roll towards the end of pit road here, so we should see some on-track action. You know, it'll be nice, Greg, is if the new build will get rid of the wall riding, give us some kind of penalty for getting up on the cushion or too close to the wall. Tire wear. No more mirrors. I would love to see the setups actually get at least a little bit closer to real life, and I would like to see the tracks just take rubber and change just randomly throughout the night. I know we're supposed to get bumps in the corner, different things like that, but I have been holding out hope for a very long time, and I have been very, very, very disappointed in a lot of their quote-unquote new build stuff. We weren't great when they first released it in 2017, but it was completely different. It was very exciting, very entertaining. And the second year, I feel like, was some of the best builds because we got we called it a cushion. It was more of just a ledge, a little lip, a bump up there at the top. But there was a penalty. If you got across it, it would wedge you between it and the wall, and it actually hurt the car. And they did away with it. Since then, it has just been downhill. And now, hopefully, everything is going to turn around with the new build here the first week of June. And if they give us all the fixes that they said and everything works and we don't have to hot patch 46 times, one, I will be supremely impressed because I have been very down on iRacing for a long time. And two, I will be so excited to actually see dirt racing again where you can actually go and race and not have to worry about how's the other guy cheating or how's he breaking the system. So, looking very forward to a lot of that stuff. All right, let's look at our starting lineup for tonight's 30-lap A main for the AcesUp Big Track 410 Sprint Car Series. Tanner Pettit and Tommy Scott Jr. will be on our front row. Lockley Phillips and Tanner Miller, row 2. Eric Whitner and Noah Carpenter in row 3. Ryan Avila and Kenny Hoffman, row 4. Bowen Smith and Tim Smith, Smith & Smith, in row number 5. Ryan Paget, Brett Wilson will make up our 6th row. Row 7, Cameron Pritchard, Nick McGeethy. Your 8th row. That's where you're going to find your current points leader. He is outside of that row. He'll have Michael Cooper on the inside. Joey Lindgren will sit in 16th to start things. Then Ross Kaiser and Matt Grimm in row number 9. And the final row for this evening's feature, Mason Coffey and Rob Yost. Here we go. There's the T-Millie, guys, right there. Yeah, and to expound just a tiny bit, Greg, about the tire wear thing. I hope that it is enough that you can actually have a tire go down in a 30 or 35 lap feature if you're just out there trying to hammer it, you know. Nothing could make me happier than to see these guys that all they know is hammer down driving have to actually manage the car for a change. It's fun to watch guys that are really fast, but, you know, that's not always realistic. To go fast, a lot of times you just got to go slow. Keep a right rear tire on one of these bad boys is no small family. You can watch the high limit deal from last night. As dry and dusty as that track was, and those guys were able to keep right rears, most of them, all night long. We only seen a handful of flat tires, a right front and a couple left rears. So I would love to see that kind of racing where you actually have to take care of your equipment. All right, time to go green for 30. Pettit and Scott. A lot of guys way back in this thing that are at the top of the points, so figure out where those guys are at the end of the night. But it's about to get loud. It's about to get dirty. Green flag in the air. 30 laps for the A main tonight, and Pettit wasted 0 time, jumping out a half a second. Lockley Phillips into second. Now a 3-4 car battle for third. Whitner, Scott, Avila, Miller, all right there. Avila down on the bottom. He is going to try to get that bottom line going early in this one. And he jumps up to third, doing that right there. This is a mad dash behind. Caution for the first time. Ryan Paget appears to have had an issue. So we'll get down here and look at Paget. Paget in the 98 car. Well, that's not a ringer for that, that's for sure. Oh, yeah, he got a little help. Somebody on the inside got in there a little hot. I did not see who that was. And Michael Cooper got a piece of that as well there at the end. So, quick cloud of dust, couple of fast laps, and then let's back them down. Everybody settle in here. Where have the Millie boys been all night long? You wait until the feature. We could have been having so much fun. All right, Pettit, Phillips, Whitner, Avila, Scott, Miller, Hoffman, Carpenter, Timothy Smith, and Nick McGeethy are our top 10 right now. Look, there he is, the 9 car of Mr. Miller. We're sitting in 6th when we get ready to restart this thing. Let's see, where Joey Lindgren, 18th right now. Your points leader. All the way at the back of this one. Looks like he's having electronic issues. As he blinked out real bad right there. He's still going. Yeah, he was going so long it changed my camera angle. That's not fun. Playing Yahtzee. Okay. I figured maybe you were unpackaging a new pair of used race underwear or something. I don't know. Is that Gexy? Is that how you say that, Shay? All right, single file, bringing them out of turn number 4. Pace trucks out of the way, and Tanner Pettit back on the throttle. Didn't get quite as good a start this time. Phillips was ready for him. last week. Okay. Thanks. Okay, well, that's better. All right, still Phillips, Whitner, Avia, Scott, the top 5. Miller still in 6th. Then Hoffman, Smith, Carpenter, and McGeehee still in the top 10. The other Smith, that other Smith guy, Bowen Smith, 12 car, he is 11th. He was a little closer and has fallen back since the restart. So try to keep an eye on these guys in front. This is going to get weird here. I guarantee. Uh-oh, there you go, Millie boys. Your guy having problems. Found the fence in turn 2. I think it cost him 1 spot. I don't know if it cost him more than that. It might, because Hoffman's all over him now. He is right on the ragged edge running up there in turn 2, and he got the right rear over it the last time around. So we'll see if he can make up that spot that he gave up. Still Pettit out in front. Pettit starting to get in the way. Oh, now Whitner with a great move off the bottom as Lockley Phillips lost a little bit of the handle there in 3 and 4, and he's going to lose a little more handle down here in 1 and 2. He's going to be lucky if Avia doesn't go by him, and Avia is going to do exactly that. You open the door, he slams his foot in there, pushes you out of the way, and see you later. So Whitner now going for the lead. Slider down in 1 and 2. Can Pettit fight it off? I don't think so. He lost some grip trying to get the cut over. Gets a rocket launch off the bottom of turn 2. There's a lot of grip right there on the exit of turn 2. Is there the same grip in the exit of turn 4? Looks like they're about dead even right there. That time Whitner lost the right rear in turn 2 as he got it off in the slick. That's going to let Avia close right up. Ryan Avia now going to make it a 3-car battle. Car across the grass. Oh, that's the 17 of Lockley Phillips. Let's get back here. Phillips. Yeah, we had a feeling that might be happening. So Phillips and Tommy Scott Jr. are going to get together here. Phillips out of 4. Oh, yeah, he got a little loose, got it into the fence, and then it was front wing off for Tommy Scott. Then these two are going to end up backwards, and that right rear slipping out there off the grass is what actually brought out the caution. If they'd have both stayed on the grass, I don't think either one of them would have given us a caution. So loves the rail. I don't know if you were here for my rant a little while ago, but I am hoping that the new build fixes all that rail riding stuff. All right, it's Pettit, Whitner, Avia, Timothy Smith, Hoffman, McGeehee, Carpenter, Miller, Bowen Smith, Mason Coffey, your top 10, Rob Yost, and Matt Grimm. The last 2 cars on the lead lap and still out here running. Grimm trying to get some damage fixed. Wilson, Pritchard, Cooper, Kaiser, Tommy Scott, Lockley Phillips, Ryan Padgett, and Joey Lindgren all on pit road. I don't know how much damage any of those cars have, but they've been in there for a while. Lindgren already 7 laps down, and we're going to have about 20 to go when we go back to green. So your points leader in a lot of trouble right now. Not sure if he'll be hanging on to that points lead at the end of the night tonight. Grimm and Wilson both trying to roll back onto the racing surface. Looks like Grimm is still on the lead lap, and so is Wilson. So 13 cars will still be on the lead lap. We've lost 7. Big, wide, fast track, and it has already been a war of attrition. So maybe Cameron Pritchard has come back to the racing surface. So make Pritchard the 14th. Kaiser's the 15th, and Cooper will be the 16th. So guys just rolling into the work area. Try to get something straightened out. So it looks like our pace truck going to get out of the way. We're going to go back to green. 20 laps remaining. 10 of the books. There goes Pettit. Oh, that time Avia got in the fence, and Timothy Smith didn't really have a choice. He had to kind of give some space there. I think Kenny Hoffman also was forced to give a little space. That opened up things on the bottom for McGeethy, who wasn't on that line, and he took advantage. He's going to be all the way up to third right now. I think the bottom looks like maybe it's starting to work. There's Miller down there onto the bottom. He made up some ground in 1 and 2. Can he do so down in 3 and 4? He keeps the door open in the 42 of Coffee. Noah Carpenter, excuse me. Yeah, that's Noah Carpenter's car. Was trying to peek in underneath. They are all over, spread out everywhere on this track right now. So we got a battle for the lead here. Pettit under fire from Tim Smith. Smith won last week in his debut. And he takes the lead out of turn number 2. So for the first time tonight, a 24 car not going to be in front. We get back to the line with 16 to go, almost halfway. Smith, then Pettit, Avia still hanging on to third. Tanner Miller now up to the 4th spot. He is making the bottom work as we have problems behind. I think Kenny Hoffman is going to find an issue here. Hoffman right in the middle right there, in between cars. Oh, down to the corner. Little move from McGeethy, and I didn't see who was on the inside right there, but he was the meat in the sandwich, and the bread closed up. So moves at the front right now, as it is Tim Smith out in front, Tanner Pettit, Ryan Avia, then Tanner Miller in the 4th slot. Nick McGeethy after the contact. He'll be up to 5th. Carpenter is 6th. Smith 7th. Grimm 8th. Yost 9th. And Wilson should be in 10th. Several cars on pit road. It's going to mess with our scoring pile-on for just a minute here. iRacing loses track of him, has no idea where it's at, and puts them first. So now we're all squared away. A couple more cars off track. Kenny Hoffman and Kevin Pritchard back on pit road. I don't know if Pritchard's trying to get something fixed or if he's done for the evening. It's hard to tell. He rolled in there, sat for quite a while, the last caution, and then rolled out at the very end. So we'll be right at halfway when we take the green back. 15 down, 15 to go. Third caution. I appreciate you guys lighting up the chat. It's always a lot more fun when there's chat going on, especially for me. Watching the racing is exciting, but sometimes watching the chat can be a little more interesting, especially when you got a crazy bunch in here that have a favorite driver and they get at it a little bit. Well, he's got 3 cars to pass to prove that, Nathan. All right, lights are off on the pace track. I think we're getting ready to go back to green right here. Tim Smith trying to go back to back. Can he hold him off for 15 more circuits? Back on the flag. Oh, a little bump and a little grinding back here at the back. Don't know what that was about, but I saw a couple of cars get together and somebody had to dive almost to the grass back there. I want to say that was Yost that dove it to the inside. Back to the front, Smith. Out in front, making it stretch just a little bit now. 3/4 of a second. Avia up to second. Miller got to third as Pettit's car's starting to fade. Now he goes around the top side, takes the spot right back from Tanner Miller. Carpenter is hounding that 9 car, the 42. Trying to shove his way in underneath, down in 1 and 2 the last time around. And Pettit sees the bottom is actually starting to work, and he's going to get down there in front of Miller. You can't pass me, I'm sitting right in front of you. So Miller's going to have to find a different way to get around Pettit if he's going to finish on the podium tonight. Pettit and Miller still battling over the final podium spot. And this time Miller got the right front in there on the left rear. Gave him a little bump to let him know he was there. Tim Smith is checking out. 1 1/4 seconds now. Navia's got about the same over that battle for third. There goes Miller to the top side. Can he do something with this? He lost a bunch of ground right there. Lost about half a second. Gonna have to get back to the bottom, try to make that inside work. Caution once again, this time Brett Wilson. 53 machine gonna have problems. That's Cameron Pritchard on the inside. Looks like maybe Ross Kaiser is there as well. And I'm not sure what happened to that car right there. It looked like there might have been a touch of contact, but Wilson just backed it around. Didn't hit anything hard. He should be okay to continue. Still Smith, Avia, Pettit, Miller, Smith. That's Tim Smith up front, Bowen Smith in the top 5. Noah Carpenter 6th, Rob Yosin 7th, Matt Grimm is 8th, Cameron Pritchard 9th, Eric Whitner in 10th, then Ross Kaiser's 11th, Nick McGeethy in 12th, and 13th is Brett Wilson. The last caution. Like I said, saw him go down there. I think there was a little bit of contact right rear to left front. Didn't look like it was enough to set that car sideways, and all of a sudden the right rear unloaded, and he was backwards there down in turn number 3. So they'll get him reset. About one more pace lap, I think, here. We should get the one to go the next time by. A couple of cars back on the pit road. Mike Cooper is in there. That's a 12 car. Kenny Hoffman is off track. Mason Coffey still in the work. I don't know if he's coming back out or not. Lindgren is several laps down, but I haven't seen that car on track in a while. There he is. He's back out there now. 8 laps down. Just trying to salvage some points. Had an 18-point lead coming into tonight. We'll see what it does next week when we come back. All right, lights off on the pace truck. Get them single filed up. Get them ready to go back to green. Still 9 laps remaining. Just a short sprint to the end. Pettit and Miller were having a good battle before the caution. Miller had slid back about a half a second. I think there was a tiny bit of contact in a corner right before that happened, but now he'd be right back up there. We'll see if they both go right to the bottom again, because that's where Miller was making it work. And Pettit figured that out, and he went down there to cover the line, and Miller was not able to get around him. Green flag back in the air. 9 laps remaining. Second, third, fourth, fifth. All to the bottom. Noah Carpenter in 6th goes to the top. He may challenge for 5th. I think there's just too much grip down there, and there's too much of a launch pad coming out of turn 2. So now Avia's going to the top with Smith. Those two were checked out pretty good over the rest of the field. The battle was at Pettit and Miller, and it is again as Miller puts the nose to the inside, loses a lot of grip in the right rear. Really had to work to get that car set back underneath him, and he lost about 5 car lengths right there. I think he's faster than the 24. It's just he's got to be right down on the bottom, and with Pettit covering that inside like he is. It's going to be very difficult to get in there and move him up the hill. Pettit trying to slam that door again. He's going in a little wider and leaving it open, but he is crushing it right on the exits and taking away that launch line for the 9 car. This time moves up to the middle. 3 and 4, not quite as good on the bottom as 1 and 2. Now goes all the way to the top. That opens things up for Miller on the bottom. And he opens up the gap a couple more car lengths. So bottom may be gone. Everybody that jumped down there to run on it may have taken all that grip away, especially on the exit line. 5 to go, wave lap. 1.3 seconds for Smith out in front. That time Pettit kills the wall in turn 2, and it did not slow that 24 car down one bit. That launch line, the exit of turn 2, just not there, and Tanner Miller not able to get the drive that he needs to finish that pass. He's got the line now all to himself. He is not able to complete that pass right there. Now Carpenter has gotten around Bowen Smith, put him into 5th. So we'll go back, 3 to go, 1.5 seconds between that car. Tim Smith and Ryan Avila in second. And it's another 1.5 seconds back as Miller once again is right on the push bar. On the 24, goes to the slider line, now takes it to the top. Can he find the grip? Oh, if he doesn't bump the wall, I think he's okay. But Miller is giving it everything, and everything might be just a little too much here and there. So 2 to go, Tanner Pettit now. Oh, things are going to close up. Bowen Smith may have crashed the car. Oh, he and Carpenter get together. And then Carpenter spinning around down here on the exit of turn 4. So that'll shake things up in the top 5, but not a whole lot. That top 3 is still very strong. 4th place. Going to have a shot. Going to have a couple of laps here to maybe go after Pettit again. Fake fan. First time watching, but you already introduced him to your daughter, Derek. I don't know. Your story's starting to fall apart, brother. I'm just going to say. All right, it'll be a 2-lap shootout. Smith, Avila, Pettit, Miller, Yost, your top 5. Then Whitner, McGeethy, Grimm, Kaiser, Pritchard, Wilson, Carpenter, and Cooper. Rounding things out. Bowen Smith now off track into the work here. Don't know if he's coming back out or not. Car is still sitting down there. Joey Lindgren. He'll eventually, I think, move up to the 14th spot there. So he's 8 laps down, but out there making laps. Your boy's going to get Mr. Miller to go sign up for the Jason Johnson Memorial. Make sure you're in the chat and you harass Mr. Stolfus as much as you are harassing the rest of the world tonight. You guys will make it a whole lot of fun. I won't even tell him you guys are coming. All right, lights off on the pace vehicle. We will be going green for a 2-lap shootout. Well, if you guys are letting him get setups off the Chinese market, you're not very good friends because the Chinese know squat about sprint car racing. I mean, literally bupkis about it. All right, price truck will be getting out of the way. 2-lap shootout. Tim Smith, Ryan Avila, Tanner Pettit. Flag back in the air. Here goes Avila. He's going to go for the long, low, sweeping slider down 1 and 2. He may have it right here. Good launch down the straightaway. Smith found a little bit of grip and was able to go right back beside him and passed him into 3 and 4, and the high line's going to prevail. White flag in the air, still Smith out in front. Tanner Miller with a pass on Pettit. Can it hold up? Coming out of turn number 2, right rear. Slips are going to be side by side. Drag racing for third. We're going to come out of turn number 4. Tim Smith is going to win back-to-back. Avia's in second. Oh, I don't know. I think Miller ends up third. Tanner Miller squeezes a third out of that. Car's going to be damaged, but I think he's going to make it around to us. Pettit was 4th and Whitner was 5th. All right, now it looks like our hard charger is going to end up being Ross Kaiser again. 10 positions improved. He finished in 7th, so let's see who they send to us. But the Miller boys going to get to hear their man talk to us here this evening. I don't know if you guys heard that through the microphone or not, but I just knocked my elbow clean to death. So. Nope. I am just trying to look through and see what all we've got here. Nothing fantastic, I can tell you that. All right, let's see who's down here. I think Ross Kaiser is going to be our Finish Line Designs hard charger. Let's see. Where is he at? Where is he at? Where is he at? I'm not seeing my hard charger yet. I'm pretty sure that it is Ross Kaiser. Oh, wait a minute. There he is. He's in here now. Ross Kaiser.
Yes, sir.
Well, I think, weren't you a hard charger last week?
Yes, I was.
Well, you're making a nasty habit of that, buddy.
Yeah, gotta make up for the mistakes in the heats.
Well, I was getting ready to ask you, maybe you should think about trying to do better in qualifying in the heat so you won't have to be hard charger. It's just a theory. I don't know if it'll work in practical application.
Yeah, sorry, it's hard to, I still hear Kevin going off in team chat. But, yeah, the heat qualifying went great. Qualified top 4, but heat racing, from what I saw, I held my line. I think Joey just thought he had more room than he did, and we just got together and both ended up wrecking. But other than that, consolation, I felt great. And then coming into the feature, it was kind of just a mess, bunch of wrecks. So I was just trying to avoid it all and then be there for the end. And luckily, I was able to at least capture a top 7. So that ended up being pretty good for the points.
Well, a couple of hard chargers in a row, and I'm sure, Finish Line's going to hook you up with some great paint and all that. But, with such a short season, the points got to be pretty important and starting to get on the podium the last few weeks, especially with the points leader Lindgren having problems. And you got a real shot to maybe scooch in there if you can just be closer to the front now.
Yeah, here, let me look at the UI, the schedule that's left. The upcoming races I'm really confident at too. My 2 best tracks are coming up, Eldora and Knoxville, so I'm hoping to get some good points in the last few events, and hopefully I can squeeze a few podiums, maybe even a win out of at least Eldora, and if I could do that, then definitely be looking for some good points, and hopefully a top 3 in the series at least, maybe. But yeah, I'm feeling confident going forward. Luckily, we've been able to hold off and get good finishes, which has been nice.
Well, another great run tonight, man. Some shout-outs, some thank yous. We'll let you get out of here, and you can get ready for next week.
Yeah, I got to thank all the guys over here at Racecraft Academy and Josh Edmondson, Eric Whitner, Kenny Hoffman, all the other guys in the background. Next Level Racing, Pimax VR, Apex Gaming PCs, Nitro Circus for all the help they do as well, and yeah, there's a few more, but yeah.
All right, man.
All of them.
Well, congratulations on another great run. Hopefully we get to start talking to you up on the podium. And we'll see you next week, man.
Alrighty, thank you.
All right, Ross Kaiser, the hard charger. Now, this ought to set things off. It'll get wild in chat, I know, but we got to get him in here. Tanner Miller, you got a copy?
I got a copy. What's going on?
Well, apparently the 9 car tonight, because heck of a good run. You started fourth. You stayed up there in the front. Last couple of laps, you made that restart work in your favor, and you come home on the podium. Tell us about the feature.
Yeah, I thought it was a very interesting track. The top was pretty fast in the beginning. I think it was probably like lap 10, 11, 12, something like that. I thought I saw the bottom coming in. We went down low. I think Timothy Smith came down low. And, I mean, you can see we're in the top 3 now. It's crazy. I was actually dealing with a wheel alignment issue since like lap 8. So it was just a tough race all around. And I just want to send my apologies to Tanner Pettit. I kind of got into him at the end there, coming to the line, and I lost control of the car. I mean, it was a crazy finish, good for the viewers, right? But as far as a racer, not a great deal, right?
Right. Well, ruffled feathers can always be smoothed out. I got a couple things I got to ask you about real quick. One, you were fighting with Pettit. You kept getting to the bottom. You kept shutting the door on you. I'm sure that's got to be fairly frustrating, knowing that it looked like you were a little quicker, and he just figured out what line you were running. Anything different you could do to try to move him or go around him a different way before you got to the end? And it just seemed like you did what you had to do to get that podium spot.
Yeah, there really isn't much I could do. I could either Ross Chastain him, right? Or I could, just race him as clean as I could. And I think there's a couple of times he would kind of enter the corner a little bit high and kind of slide down. And I that definitely made me a little bit frustrated, of course. But I mean, he's a clean racer every week, racing pros, road to pro, officials, whatever it is. So he's always a clean racer, and there's not much I can do there, especially with the end. But I definitely felt like we were just a tad bit faster than him, and I kind of hate how it ended there. But no, it was a good race. He did everything he could to hold it off. When he went to the top, though, at that the last restart, that's when I knew I had a chance. So.
Well, and the last thing, and I got to ask, you brought it up a little while ago about fighting a handling issue. Did the handling issue start right about the time when you were banging it off the boards up there in 1 and 2?
Yeah, it was like early on in the race. I got up top. I think Tommy Scott put a slider on me. I want to say it was lap 7 or lap 8 in turns 1 and 2. And I think it was 1 and 2, and I tried to like stay up high, and it just didn't work out in my favor. I probably shouldn't have put a slider on him in 3 and 4. That was my fault. I should have just kind of let things spread out a little bit. So unfortunately that cost my car a little bit, but we were able to run around the bottom like Lance DeWeese, so I really can't complain about it at all.
Well, the boy said you like riding the rails, so I had to ask you about that. But give us some shout-outs, some thank yous. Great run tonight, and we'll let you get out of here.
Yeah, thank you to AcesUp Sim Racing, my coach Chad. He was my coach in the pros. Process of Illumination, Finish Line Designs, Scott Thomas and Racing. Thank you guys. Thanks everybody for the support, and hopefully we'll catch you next week.
All right, man. Thanks for chatting with us, and we look forward to seeing the 9 car back next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Tanner Miller finishing into the 3rd spot tonight. Now let's move on. Let's talk to Ryan Avila. We had him in here last week, and man, he's back again. He's going to make a habit of this. This guy could end up winning the championship. Ryan, you there, buddy?
Yeah.
Great run again tonight, man. Got you back up here talking to us. 2nd this evening. Tell us about the feature a little bit.
It's just a tough track. I mean, it all goes into setup. I feel like if you don't set the car up right, you're gonna lose sometime somewhere. And I mean, Tim was rolling on the bottom for that beginning there, and me and Tanner didn't expect it, so we just played our cards right towards the end, and we stuck kind of with them. Tanner got in a wreck at the end, but that's just racing. I feel like on this track, it's just glass. It's so slick. There's no grip, and that goes all back to setup. So I mean, I was running my wing as far as back it could, and there's just still nothing. So
Yeah, tough when it gets really slick. The line's super thin, and there was a very, very thin one down at the bottom and right up at the top, and that's a risk-reward kind of situation. Saw a lot of guys bank it off the fence. The lesser of two evils and try to run around the bottom.
yeah, I mean, oh man, I mean, if you could hit the bottom, you're always going to be fast. It's just the grip that's down there, and if you hit it on the exit, you're going to fly past the guy on the top side. But that just goes back to the top. If you hit the top right, you're going to be as fast as the guy on the bottom. So even though this track is not as real, it's not a real life track, so no one has experience on it or from real life. But I mean, that's why we're here. That's why we run the sim. So it's just a fun track, but definitely challenging.
Well, you're starting to string together some podium finishes here, man. You're going to make a run at this championship before it's all over, especially with Lindgren having issues tonight.
Yeah, looks like second is my spot in this championship, but maybe next week I can put it on the top step with Eldora being the next track. I think I can do pretty good there. I did pretty good in the Pro Series around there, so I think that'll all correlate to the next league race.
All right, man, some shout-outs, some thank yous before we let you get out of here tonight.
Oh yeah, Clayton Tilley at Speed Shop 51 and Momentum Sim Sport. All the guys over there just helping me out and just every single week having fun and working on setups and stuff like that. But yeah, my mom and dad, and just 213 somewhere and 1425 photography for helping me out.
All right, man. Thanks for chatting with us. Congrats on a great run. We'll look forward to seeing you back here next week.
Thank you.
Ryan Avila finished second this evening, and now, whoa, he goes back to back, and he's making it look pretty easy out here. Tim Smith, how you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Well, I got to see a pretty good race tonight, and you were running away pretty good the last couple of restarts there. Everybody was a little closer. Any nerves about some, late race slider shenanigans?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Whenever you got these guys behind me that ran the series before, they know what's going on, and they got to go. So, riding through it as soon as I try to defend it, and, as soon as he got by me, I try to just do the same as Port Royal, just catch the grip, and you got to get lucky sometimes, which we managed to catch the grip and get back underneath them and defend the slider in 3 and 4. Then from there on out, smooth sailing again thanks to this M9 car.
Well, back to back, and getting a little bit of a late start in the series. But how do you feel about heading for Eldora next week, and can you three-peat?
Eldora is one of my worst tracks, so we're gonna have to put him some prep time for that. And I'm just looking for top 5 or top 3 at best. I mean, it's one of my worst tracks, so we just gotta put in the prep time and do the best we can there.
All right, man. Well, another awesome run for the 86 machine. Give us some shout-outs, some thank yous, and we'll let you pop the cork on that champagne again.
For sure, we got Tiger Towing, BPM, TSR, the Stewart House, Castle Farm Supply, Colton Crayon Racing, Wolf Palms, 129 M9 TV Designs. That's a really good painter. Trent Pullman does all the painting there. I recommend him. There's just too many people to think on this thing, man, to put all this together.
All right, man. Well, thanks for chatting with us. Congrats on another great run. We'll look forward to seeing if you can tame Eldora next week.
Oh, yeah, we'll try. Thank you.
All right, you're a winner this evening, Tim Smith. Let's take a look at our results. Here they come. This time they're coming in there. Smith wins it. Avila was second. Miller in third. Good race between Miller and Pettit there at the end. Tanner and Tanner are really getting after each other. And Miller prevails. Little contact. He made a good apology. Hopefully Mr. Pettit is of the same mind, and that's just hard racing coming to the checkers. But Pettit was fourth. Whitner in the fifth spot. McGeethy sixth. Kaiser seventh. Grimm eighth. Pritchard was ninth. Wilson 10th, Cooper 11th, Carpenter 12th, Yost 13th. Bowen Smith ends up hanging on to that 14th spot as Joey Lindgren. A few too many laps down there towards the end to take him over. He finishes 15th, so your points leader loses a lot of points. We'll see where he sits starting next week. in that championship. Only had an 18-point lead coming into tonight. Mason Coffey, 17th. Tommy Scott Jr. in 18th. Lockley Phillips, 19th. And Ryan Paget rounded out the field tonight. So another pretty good run. You put the eggs in the basket, you shake them up. Some of them are going to break, and that's kind of what happened tonight. And USA is a huge basket, so it can be a lot of fun, or it can just be an absolute nightmare. We'll see what happens when they change the build and put some random moisture spots around and see what that does to this place. But always fun to come and watch the guys race here. We'll be back with them at Eldora next week. Should be a lot of fun. Don't forget about what I said tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern. Elite Performance Industries 410 wingless sprint cars. Always a great show from Wade and the boys over there, so be sure you tune in for that. And then Sunday night, 8 o'clock Eastern, the MARS Paved Super Late Model Series, as they will be closing out that mini/test series and crowning a champion for that. Be sure you tune in for those. And we'll be back here next Wednesday night to start it all over again. Appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. Without you guys, there's no reason to do this, and without the leagues, there's nothing for us to do, so I thank them as well. Make sure you're like, share, and follow over on Facebook. Subscribe on YouTube and Twitch, and every time we go live. And until we see you the next time, everybody, keep